Now let's have a look at this montage, which I see it before on another YouTuber's video. You have a look at this montage of the relationship between just one pharmaceutical company and various broadcast outlets in your country, America.
Good Morning America is brought to you by Pfizer.
CBS Health Watch sponsored by Pfizer.
Anderson Cooper 360. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Every single degree of that 360 is sponsored by Pfizer, but we still have a really clear outlook when it comes to subjects related to Pfizer. If you have a media organization that is to some degree controlled, and by controlled I mean financially dependent upon a particular organization, for example, obviously Pfizer. If Pfizer spend a lot of money with CNN, do you think that CNN are going to criticize Pfizer in the same way they would if Pfizer didn't spend a lot of money there? Do you have that kind of faith? This ain't new, but it's still shocking.
ABC News Nightline. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Making a difference. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah, you know what difference they're making. Don't criticize Pfizer.
CNN Tonight. Brought to you by Pfizer. Early Start. Brought to you by Pfizer. Friday night on Aaron Burnett Out Front. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Aaron's one of the people. That stinking, dirty, non-Pfizer horse butt medicine that's just for horses and their dirty butts wouldn't be made by Pfizer. Pfizer are making their own version. That is a good drug. That is a good, reliable, decent drug.
This Week with George Stephanopoulos is brought to you by Pfizer.
This weather report brought to you by Pfizer.
Today's countdown to the royal wedding is brought to you by Pfizer.
The royal wedding's been Pfizer now. Why are Pfizer spending all this money? It's in order to create a positive association with Pfizer. So generally speaking, you feel positive about Pfizer. For at least as many examples as we have found for Pfizer sponsoring shows, you could find outcomes of various lawsuits around the opioid crisis in particular, where Pfizer don't come off looking so good, and many of those lawsuits they paid off in bundles. The way that we feel about a company, an organization and their products is integral to financial and business outcomes. So now we can see why Joe Rogan's voice matters, why what Joe Rogan said matters, because inadvertently or otherwise, his words challenged an authoritarian telos towards the power of media, government, and their relationships with corporate sponsors. If you don't think there's a connection between those things, then that's up to you. This is just the way that I see this situation playing out.
And now a CBS Sports Update brought to you by Pfizer.
Meet the Press Data Download, brought to you by Pfizer.
This portion of CBS This Morning sponsored by Pfizer.
Just when you think Pfizer aren't going to sponsor another program.
On how to find the hidden sugars in the American family diet. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Anyway, listen, you can decide for yourself whether you think it's wrong for media organizations to perhaps carry an agenda that would, you could say, benefit outcomes favorable, perchance, to particular pharmaceutical or other entities. And you can decide for yourself whether you think there's a connection between the stance of particular media organizations and the kind of financial partnerships that they have. But once you've seen that bloody montage, it's like the scales fall from your eyes, surely, don't they? But that's just what I think. What do you think?